Hi, this is Andy McCall again with the ICDL Module 8, Improving Productivity Using IT demo lecture. This is the third and final of the videos, which is going to be covering the tests. We're going to be explaining it in detail, as well as going through areas of practice and preparation for your test. So the first thing that we want to go through before we talk about anything though is looking at exactly the test that you're going to be taking. Now you should all be familiar with the Word, the Excel and your PowerPoint test that you took before in terms of the layout and how you had your questions at the top, for example, and you had your question numbers, you had your skip button, your next button as well. It does work a bit different in the Improving Productivity test for you. So the big thing to let you know straight away is the next button in the IPUT test is not available. What that means is that previously you were able to look at a question, attempt it, and before you pressed your answer button, you decided that you weren't too sure about something, you want to come back to it at the end. This facility is not available to you, so you cannot skip and go back to a question if you haven't answered it. You can only move forward in the test. So in this scenario, it's as if you're working in the real world. So you've got the set objective and you have to complete it before you're able to move on as well. So don't think you're halfway through and you get stuck and you can think, oh, you can go back to it. Please be very aware before you go into your test. The next button is not available. When you see a question and the question's in it, you must attempt the questions and then press answer to move on. The only way to move on is by pressing answer. However, when you're using your applications, be it if you do get a scenario that's in Word or Excel or in PowerPoint, you do have the undo option in the quick access toolbar, which is available at the top left to undo something that you've done. So you do still have that facility as opposed to the next button as well. So just keep in mind that you've got that as well. So if you're doing an example, let's say if you had to input a table into a Word document and you put it in the wrong position, thinking, oh no, I've done it wrong, such and such, there's no need to panic. You can press your undo button and it will take the table away, and then you can start as you did before from an original state. So important to remember, what was explained in the previous videos, is that the IPUT exam is separated into two parts. So you do both parts in your test. So the first part is your performance part, where you'll be given a scenario and you'll have a set of questions that you have to perform the tasks within the required application, being Microsoft Word, Excel or PowerPoint as well. Very important in both sections though, you must, I repeat, you must gain 75% in both the performance and knowledge areas to pass the exam. The total result will be converted to your Community University overall mark, but if both your performance and your knowledge pass marks are less than 75%, you will not achieve the qualification. So let's just show you an example of this. This you should all be familiar with at the end of your test. You'll have your total result. However, if I zoom in a bit just here, you'll see you've got the knowledge and the performance side. So both of these in this example are over 75%, 91 and 100%. However, the total result is 97%. So the first thing we need to be looking at is the knowledge and performance are over 75%, and then the total result at the top will be converted to your Coventry University CU mark as well. Show you another example just here. So this is more concrete in terms of what to look at in terms of if you've actually failed the test. So if you see the performance side, which is the first part of the test, you got 100% in this example. However, the knowledge meant that you got 68%. So straight away, you should be looking at that and stating that I didn't get 75% in over 75% in both sections, which means that I failed the test. Even though the total result says 84, you haven't got 75% in both sections of the test, means that it is a fail, and would have to look at a reset or moving forward after that as well. Go to the next one. Here's a bit more easier to see. So the total result, as we pointed out, is converted to your CU marks, as 95% will be converted, and it has nothing to do with passing or failing the exam of your module as well. Now, knowledge in the performance sections are over 75%, so if you get over 75%, you should gain a very strong Coventry University mark as well. So the higher both of these are, the higher this will be too. So it's really a point to really revise and really get prepared as best as you possibly can, so that you're getting, well, for instance, the knowledge section is 12 questions, so you want to be trying to aim for 100%, 12 out of 12, and the performance part, answering as many possible questions correct to get a really good score, because you worked hard and you deserve a good mark at the end. So, coming to what you need to have with revision, once again, you'll have your online diagnostic. Really important to remember that it's always Chrome or Internet Explorer that runs it. You should have your own BCS registration number and your own unique password. Same steps, you insert those and they'll come there. If you haven't passed your Word, Excel, or say, for example, if you haven't passed your all three Word, Excel and PowerPoint tests, then you will not see the improving productivity diagnostic available to you. As pointed out in the first video, in order to have access to your improving productivity diagnostic and test, your Word, spreadsheets and presentations tests must be passed before you are able to attempt your IPUT test and diagnostic. So just to be aware, if you don't see it, the reason why is highly likely because you cannot see that. If you have passed all three and you aren't still seeing it, and by all means send us an email and we'll look into it as quickly as we possibly can, so it gives you that time. Well, before you do your diagnostic though, if you were to go to Aula and go to your W drive, you should see, go back a second, you should see your Word, Excel presentation, improving productivity using IT. If we click improving productivity using IT, you should be familiar with these layout of these folders. You've got your lecture material. This is the slides that we've been going through in these set of videos. You've got your manual and work files, what I've covered in the slides. But finally, you've got your practice tests. For improving productivity using IT, there's two options here. One, you've got your CU practice test. What that is a practice test for Word, spreadsheets and presentations for the knowledge side of the test. Let's just show you an example of this. So if we were to click Microsoft Word, practice test 1, and we click the Word sample test just here, you will see here we've got a scenario. We need to create a report for the human resources team with regards to recruitment procedures. The content will consist of policies, procedures and feedback on necessary changes. Which software application would you consider the most suitable to complete the task? So this is what you will also kind of see in your knowledge part of your online test when you take it. You'll have 12 questions. And you'll have it in the same sort of format just as we see here. So which software application would you consider the most suitable to complete the task? So it's only one answer per question. So you'd look at email, access, word processing, presentations. Word processing is the correct answer. Which feature of the suitable software application chosen would enable you to complete the task? So you'd look at these all here. Enter and manipulate numerical data. Insertion of text and graphics. Send and receive emails and create diary appointments. Insertion of text, graphics, sound and animation. So with multiple choice, you kind of are eradicating the ones that you know that it definitely isn't. So first of all, we've got enter and manipulate numerical data. Highly likely to be Excel, or we've used a word processing application in our scenario. So we wouldn't be doing that one, so we're going to take that one away. Insertion of text and pictures. I think that is a highly likely one that we're going to be choosing. Send and receive emails and create diary appointments. That's not entailed with the scenario, so that's not that one. And insertion of text, graphics, sounds and animation. Graphics, sounds and animation aren't really suitable for a report to the human resources team. So the correct answer would be insertion of text and graphics. And then you can go through all of these questions, and then once you've completed them, you can go back to your folder, and your solution are all here as well. So solution just there for you. And that's the same for spreadsheets and presentation as well. You can also, if you wish, attempt the IP sample test level 2. You'll see you've got Word, spreadsheets and presentations. So to click the Microsoft Word one, we've got an assignment which you can download. We have some work files that you need to complete it. and you always have the marking scheme as well. So once you complete it, you can go and mark how you got on there as well. Really handy option available to you, which I do recommend you having a go at as well, just to give you much more confidence going in, particularly before your diagnostic as well. So just load this paper up just to show you. And here we are. So it'll explain the test is divided into two parts. You must complete the performance part before the knowledge part. That, when you go into your online test, will be straightforward, because the knowledge part leads after the performance part, which is good. Another big thing to remember in your test this time, though, is you only have an hour this time. I say only. You previously had 45 minutes. You have an extra 15 minutes with this test as well. But please don't take the extra 15 minutes for granted. Please use as the whole time that you've been aware that it does go quite quick. Keep on track. Keep an eye on your time as well. So you don't want to get to the knowledge side of the test with only about 4 or 5 minutes left to go. Give yourself enough time. I suggest doing the performance by about 45 minutes, 50 minutes, and then get into your knowledge questions for another 15 minutes as well. So just knowing your time and how to manage it, especially with the previous experience you've had in your Word, Excel, and PowerPoint tests, but keeping in mind that you don't have that next facility so that you can skip a question and come back. You must answer the question when you are on it. So to get to question 3 from question 2, you must answer all the questions or attempt the questions and then press your answer button. Thanks very much, everybody.